教えてよ教えてよその仕組みを僕の中に誰かいるの
What up? It's your boy T-Bear here in the reaction to today's Films Friday. So about to get to the meat and potato of Films Friday, which is the dead meat kill count. So I pulled up a no poll one and made this one a little interesting one. So I ended up since I forgot which one got the last minute for the save for the redemption one, but now this got up to it. Countdown was the one that saved. Hold up. Yeah, Countdown would have missed save, but Behind Masks also made it too. But now this new poll here, the lowest was Countdown Spookies, while the highest was sorry, I went a little ahead of myself. The choices were Alive, either a live pair with either Friday 13th or whatever the newest kill count in case they released Tremors, which they ended up doing. Countdown Spookies, Tammy T Rex or Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Behind the Mask and Babysitter 2, Don't Breathe and Mayhem. And the highest ranking was the Alive and the Friday 13th / New Kill Count trio. And the lowest was Countdown Spookies. Now we get down to the lowest one. Out of the two, the one that got the most votes to be saved this time is Countdown. So Countdown has been saved, and unfortunately, Spookies. Folks have been saying I should check it out. We'll have to go into the shadow room for the upcoming redemption poll. So I have one more spot left for that when time comes. Now, as for Countdown will be paired up with the losing three, one of the losing three out of it. Of the winning trio, I should say, is Alive, Friday 13th Recount, and Tremors, that was found out it would be the new kill count release. So that being said, the winner poll of that is none other than Alive. So after almost being to the shadow room plenty of times, and finally and being in the winning pair but losing, Alive will be the official kill count of the day. So I've been hearing about Alive a lot of times though. This came up before the Train to Busan. This is like the early of that year of Japanese zombie movies. So we're definitely gonna check this out. So without further ado, let's just take a look at Alive, which came out on Netflix. So let's get it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Alive, or #Alive. Or, if you're old, #Alive. Alive, released in 2020, is the first Korean film featured on the Kill Count, and I apologize that it took
my bad, Korean. I said Japanese, my fault.
Me so long to tap into the rich offerings of South Korea's horror films. Like I said with Rec, I always feel disadvantaged covering films from other countries. My knowledge base is in American history and cinema, and I never want to feel like I'm shortchanging a movie on this show. I'll do my best here, but I had limited access to behind-the-scenes info, and I also may fall short on cultural insights and/or pronunciations. Apologies in advance. Still, I wanted to...
I was wrong. Say it. I'm gonna say Korea. I wasn't the reason why I was so sure because I thought the fact that because the anime of that goes to Train to Busan was because it's Japanese, but not it's Korean. My fault. Wrong Asian country. That's on me. But anyway, this is the first of the Korean ones that following Train to Busan, and the other one's Peninsula, which he won't fortunately uncover till possibly later on down the line. Well, no. He said he won't do it because he's not trying to get in trouble like he had with Train to Busan. Because Train to Busan, he had copyright strike. They had to fight to get it taken off.
Look at this movie because so damn many of you requested it by sending an email to deadmeatmovies@gmail.com, which, remember, is the only way your request gets counted. If you leave it in the comments, it's gonna get ignored. That's not me trying to be a dick or anything. There's just no good way for me to quantify all the YouTube comments.
Right.
I know y'all love to get high on that Netflix nectar, so that's probably why there were so many requests for this thing, even though I didn't find it anything exceptional. which is not to say it's bad either. Alive is an enjoyable zombie movie led by a pair of sympathetic characters as it explores feelings of isolation, which are bound to crop up during a zombie pandemic. The main protagonist is Oh Jun-woo, a video game live streamer played by Yoo Ah-in, who isolates himself in his apartment as soon as the zombie outbreak occurs. As with other classic zombie films, most notably Dawn of the Dead, the restrictive setting works great as we watch our hero work through all the problems you'd have to think about in a zombie situation. How to get food, how to cope with the loneliness, are you really sloppy drunk if no one's there to see you sloppy drunk? You know, the important stuff. Still, there are a lot of ideas in this movie that don't get explored nearly enough. Chief among them, the whole modern tech and social media aspect. That stuff is largely irrelevant and feels like a last-minute marketing tact. You could take it all out and have the exact same movie. I still think it's a cute little film though, despite its melodrama and inconsistencies. So as long as you're not a hardcore zombie purist, you should be able to enjoy yourself. As per usual with zombie movies, the kills I count are going to be coming fast and loose, so just try to hang on while I work out my frame freezing finger. Let's go! The movie begins with a sleepy boy. Oh Jun-woo lives in a pretty nice flat with his parents and sister, who are out getting groceries since there's nothing to eat there. That means no munchies for Jun-woo as he logs on to game and farms some rare drops. Looks like his looting's gonna have to wait though, cause his phone is going off with an emergency alert and the news is talking about citizens becoming aggressive and violent. And Jun-woo doesn't need to take their word for it. One look outside shows how pandemonious things already are. As Jun-woo watches from his balcony, we see 6 people being killed. A woman being eaten in her apartment, a man being bitten between some cars, a guy being bitten in the parking lot, and 3 peeps dying in this overhead shot. I love how these shots establish the apartment complex setting, letting us know where we'll be for the next 90 minutes. By the looks of some behind-the-scenes footage that didn't have any translations available, production built the complex from the ground up, or at least a facade of one. As things get more explodey, Jun-woo watches a confused mother reunite with her scared daughter. Aw, that's nice. But then the daughter becomes a zombie and fights her mom, killing her. Jun-woo hears a ruckus in the hallway and unwisely cracks his door open, which allows a neighbor named Lee Sang-chul to rush in and ask for refuge. Though Jun-woo just wants the guy to leave, he agrees to let him use the bathroom. While Sang-chul's in there, hopefully not taking a dump, the TV gives us a news dump, reporting all the usual zombie information. Namely, that infected people are cannibalizing victims, and that the affliction spreads through bites and blood. This prompts a more concerned Jun-woo to order his neighbor out with a knife, and his concerns end up validated when the dude begins reacting to a bite on his hand, reacting with bloody eyes. His zombie transformation is very jerky, which I can appreciate for being different, even if he sometimes looks like he's auditioning to be in a Thriller remake. The moment he fully turns, too. Jun-woo manages to get the guy out of his unit and watches as he's attacked by another larger zombie. An interesting idea that sadly never gets revisited. The opening credits help show more of Jun-woo's apartment complex when it's not too busy looking like that Rubber Johnny music video. Remember that thing?
Oh lord.
Weird. Jun-woo fortifies his door before getting some texts from his family. They're alive, but they can't come home right now, so they tell Jun-woo to just survive. He'd love to adhere to that order, but it might be difficult with his meager food stores. With cell reception spotty, Jun-woo takes a picture of himself with his address and posts it on social media. Hashtag I must survive. Hashtag bleach blonde badass. Then he watches how some dude online tries to get reception using a selfie stick and hanging outside his apartment window. It goes great until it doesn't, and the guy falls presumably to his death. Jun-woo scopes things out with his phone on a
dumbass.
drone and tries to ignore the bleak situation he surveys by playing his video games. But when the internet goes down, it puts an end to that distraction. Jun-woo hates single player. That night, he watches a cop shoot and kill 2 zombies as they chase her in the parking lot. But that's all she's able to accomplish before they overwhelm her and bite into her neck. Her gun falls to the ground, and though Jun-woo tries to distract the zombies, it's far too late to save her. That lady dead. Somehow, a zombie manages to get past Jun-woo's refrigerator bury
big
it.
motherfucker.
So he has to bullfight it off the balcony, killing the Zed after it runs at him and flies over the banister.
Toro!
The long fall leaves the dead man motionless once more, unlike that dead cop who Jun Woo sees has already been reanimated. He resecures his entrance after that latest attack, which also did a number on his already minuscule rations. With his situation deteriorating, he turns to what he knows, recording a vlog for his online audience, saying that he must survive, since that's what his family told him to do.
이만 여기까지. 구독과 좋아요.
Some habits die hard, huh, guy? As the days go by, Jun Woo begins drinking his dad's alcohol, which is not the best way to stay hydrated. That's the shit you gotta consider now, Jun Woo, with the water no longer running.
Damn.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have spent so much energy putting up faux stained glass on your windows. By day 10, he's almost run out of food and water, and by day 15, he's resorted to drunk sessions of dance crying. But like, who hasn't been there before? Am I right? He's such a mess and misses his family so much that he starts having hallucinations of them. I like how much this character unabashedly loves his family, especially his mom. Makes his Slim Shady ass real lovable. After a grief session that looks like it could be part of a Sia video, Jun Woo gets a voicemail from his family. To get enough reception to listen to it, he carefully tries the old balcony signal booster trick, and although it works, the message he hears is distressing. The sound of his family's last moments. And I'll still put his parents and sister on the count since we kinda met them in that hallucination. Jun Woo smashes things in his apartment and then steps outside to smash things in the hallway. Namely, a zombie that he beats to stillness with his golf club. His little exploration doesn't do much other than give me 6 kills to add to the count. 1 dead body in the background, 2 around a corner getting eaten by his zombie neighbor, a woman who's overcome by a horde in the hallway, another body being eaten by a second horde, and a 6th body in the hallway after he
Sorry. No, I'm trying to hold my hookah poster up, but anyway.
evades a bunch of zombies by hiding against a wall. He sneaks his way back inside his apartment and holds off the zombies outside. And before you know it, it's day 20, which is when he sees Seoul being firebombed and rocked with explosions. Wait, what's with all those cars driving on that bridge? Who's commuting during a zombie apocalypse?
Right.
Anyway, the lights go out for miles around, and that's enough to darken Jun Woo's hopes entirely.
안녕. 안녕.
He decides to hang himself, and it's pretty friggin' dark when he actually goes through with it, strangling himself with a cord from the ceiling. But then a laser pointer starts shining in his face, letting him know someone else is still alive, and he's encouraged to get down to see what's going on. The laser is being shown from a woman across the parking lot. This is Kim Yu-bin, which Jun Woo learns when they make introductions the next day. Though he's forgotten how to socialize properly, which is not uncommon after quarantining, he is able to signal to her that he's an alright guy. And she's an alright gal. She's practical, measuring her water out for days, compassionate, sharing that valuable water with a houseplant, and crafty, creating a zombie trap at her door. She's also not afraid to kill zombies with hand axes. Though the movie seems afraid when it cuts away from the kill. Come on, movie, you chicken! Though Rain can replenish their water supplies, food is harder to come by. So with Jun Woo's stomach cramping from hunger, the two of them set up a neat little zip line between their flats using Jun Woo's drone. I absolutely love this part. It's such a fun idea and a good use of the drone technology. The first half of the movie is fine, but pretty predictable. It's the stuff with Yu-bin that made me enjoy Alive a lot more. Before they used the drone to make a zipline, less fruitful attempts were made, and unfortunately, one of those ropes is found by a zombie firefighter. Since an earlier news report mentioned zombies instinctually performing behaviors, it's not surprising when this dude decides to climb the rope, which also inadvertently knocks Yu-bin out with a table. Jun Woo virtually distracts the climbing zombie with his drone, and though his efforts ultimately fail, they do stall the climb long enough for Yu-bin to get back up and cut off the firefighter's hand. Ha, using a hand axe too? That's pretty fun. Maybe not for the zombie firefighter though. He did. Ooh, nasty gory head there. With food a forever problem, Jun Woo arms himself up to go out and forage. He returns to bodies I've already counted and gets a set of keys from his neighbor's corpse, earning entry into the adjacent unit where he does discover a new corpse with a veiny foot sticking out from under the covers. He takes a bunch of food from the fridge and finds a jar of Nutella, a jacket, and some walkie-talkies before before getting attacked by a zombie that used to be his neighbor's brother. Capping off a solid little sequence, Junwoo uses the power of pull-up bars to get away. He has a king's meal of Nutella and beer, then sticks the treats along with a walkie inside a delivery lunchbox to Yu-bin. That means they're finally able to talk.
예, 안녕하세요.
소리요, 소리.
Sorry, that means they're finally able to talk. She thanks him for the food, and he thanks her for saving his life, though she says he saved himself.
준우 씨가 살고 싶어서 그렇게 한 거죠.
It looks like she might know a thing or two about that. They make noodles together via walkie, since that's the kind of shit you do to socialize when you're under lockdown, and playfully banter about their preferred methods of meal prep. They have to quiet down and take cover when a zombie stampede runs through the complex. And though Yu-bin accidentally alerts them to her presence, Junwoo saves her by calling another flat in her hallway and leading the undead there instead. Still, this time they make some big moves, and I don't mean drowning that snake plant, Yu-bin. They don't need that much water. She kicks off their plan by running and jumping out her window, in a stunt that I can't say for certain without translation, but it looks like actor Park Shin-hye actually did herself. Man, that looks like fun. She gets down to the parking lot and runs through the zombies like she's on a game show, making a hell of an impression on Junwoo. During this very fun action sequence, I count 8 kills, all from Yu-bin's hand axe. She slashes the first in the face, the second in the chest, and after losing a little bit of speed, gets 2 more. Get out of here, zombies! After grabbing the police officer's gun and being joined by Junwoo, she kills another 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, giving us 8 total. I'm not counting any of these golf club beatings as kills, by the way. I don't think they're lethal enough here. They get into the somehow still-powered elevator in Junwoo's building and head up to the 8th floor, which earlier Yu-bin had seen was unoccupied. Oh, and hey, this is the first time these two are together in person.
Nice.
Hope neither of them smell too bad. They are in an elevator. On the 8th floor, they start trying all the doors, but a goddamn mindless zombie horde shows up, ruining a good plan like they always gotta do. As Junwoo fends the Zeds off, Yu-bin opens a door to find an occupant, a stranger who pulls her inside.
Come here! I had to do it one time.
To rescue Junwoo as well. Inside the stranger's apartment, there is some initial distrust with a side of astonishment.
I did,
집엔 아무도 없었어.
He pours them water, which they regard with suspicion until he drinks some himself, and after quenching their thirst, they agree to eat his canned food as well. The stranger mentions that according to the news, there are rescue teams on the way, and that gives Junwoo and Yu-bin so much joy, they begin to weep. Only one problem. This place might not actually belong to this stranger. Oh, and Junwoo just passed out. That's 2 problems then. Yeah, somehow this guy was able to drug them, despite their precautions, and after zip-tying Junwoo's wrists, the stranger drags a weakened Yu-bin into another room. I'm not a big fan of this dude's betrayal. It's something that happens way too often in zombie media. He binds Yu-bin and locks the door, trapping her in a room with a zombie. That little lady used to be the stranger's wife, and he wants to feed her fresh humans to keep her, unalive, I guess. But a reawakened Junwoo is not a fan of this place's food chain and demands the stranger let Yu-bin free, threatening him with the police gun they grabbed. Instead, the stranger lets go of his wife's leash, leaving Junwoo to try to restrain the zombie wife from eating Yu-bin's face off. He eventually loses control, and after some screaming, Yu-bin falls quiet. But when the stranger opens the door, turns out the ladies were just silent wrestling, and the 2 of them spill out into the hallway. The wife ends the life of the stranger by biting him in the neck, and Yu-bin puts them both down with a couple of off-screen gunshots that turn a lot of Zed's heads. With the undead, unwashed masses headed their way, Yu-bin asks Junwoo to mercy kill her.
우리 아직 사람이잖아.
Oh.
같이 있잖아.
Quite a tall task, and though Junwoo doesn't want to, he resigns himself to the plan until they hear the buzzing of a bunch of helicopters outside. The rescue choppers are real, and they're flying overhead right now. The 2 of them head out with some smoke grenades, and while I once again won't count golf club beatdowns as kills, I will count this zombie Junwoo tosses over the edge of the building. That's consistent with earlier kills I've counted. And don't worry, Junwoo's not alone in this fight. I'm Kim Yu-bin, and this is Zombie Shopping.
I will hear this. They would play Jack.
They run to a stairwell and begin making their way to the roof. And though Yu Bin is attacked and has to stick her hand axe into a zombie's head, these staircases thankfully came straight from the Scream series and have plenty of bikes they can use to fend off the living dead. The two of them get out to the roof, but there are no more choppers in sight. Refusing to give up hope, Jun-woo starts screaming for salvation at the top of his lungs. 여기 사람 있어!
Alive.
Yu Bin tearfully joins him as the zombies burst through the roof door. And with their gun only loaded enough for Jun-woo to shoot down 2 zombies running towards them, it looks like it's the end for our heroes here. That is, until a somehow unheard helicopter rises up out of nowhere to give them an unlikely rescue, thanks to soldiers shooting off rifles. Oh no, I don't want to count all these dead Zeds. Here, I'll wait until Jun-woo and Yu Bin are safely aboard the bird, then use this overhead shot to add 12 kills to the count. I got that number by counting 13 still bodies on the roof as they fly away, subtracting the 2 I already counted that Jun-woo shot down, then adding 1 more kill for this zombie that went over the edge when they were getting into the chopper. The movie ends with Jun-woo and Yu Bin alive and together. It's a sweet, happy ending, especially when we hear that rescue teams are currently using social media posts to locate and save survivors. Kind of rare for a zombie film to end on a somewhat hopeful note. I like it. How many hashtag dead people did I count in hashtag
good.
alive? Let's find.
This was an interesting movie, though. I mean, I can see why if he was like a big zombie person, and if he was like a big zombie and expect like back-to-back kills like that, you probably be down. But you expect like a movie just to sit through, you might actually like this.
Find out and get to the numbers. But first, I've been eyeing this guy all damn day. Oh, it's so good. It just tastes so damn good.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of Nutella.
By my count, there were 53 kills in Alive. Always murky when it comes to zombies, though. I counted 15 female kills, 20 male kills, and 18 unknown victims, giving us a decently even pie chart all around. With a runtime of 99 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 1.87 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the firefighter zombie, hand cut off with a hand axe. Still a gosh darn knee slapper to me. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to those zombies gunned down at the end. The spray and pray is for noobs. And that's it. Alive came out earlier this year and was based on an American script for a movie called Alone, which just came out last week. Don't be confused if you end up watching both. Matt Naylor wrote the Alone script and then co-adapted it to make Alive. On Sunday, we'll get some good grief with Hereditary. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you already know I watched that. Man. If there's a lone kill count, there's definitely let me know. But this was an interesting one, definitely though. So next week I will put a new poll up and trimmers will be added. I'll possibly make room for the trimmers, and the Friday the 13th recount will be added, as well as if another new one is in there. Well, if it's gonna be back-to-back trimmers, then I'm not gonna do that. But there's spots there. I'll have to add another kill count I haven't done yet. That's in like previous kill counts. But other than that, excuse me. If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.